The new roommate, Leo, opened his eyes slowly. His head hurt and everything around him looked strange. The walls were made of silver metal. The lights were soft and blue. He was not in his bedroom anymore. "Where am I?" he whispered. A soft, robotic voice answered. "Welcome, human. You are now part of the Galactic Exchange Program." Leo sat up fast. Galactic... what? A small round robot floated toward him. It had blinking lights and little arms like spaghetti noodles. "You were chosen from Earth. You are now a helper on the ship Starblazer 9. Please follow me." Leo was too confused to argue. He followed the robot through shining halls with glass floors. Strange creatures walked past him, tall, short, glowing, floating. It felt like he was inside a video game. They stopped at a metal door. "This is your room," the robot said. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside it looked normal, almost. A bed, a table, a cleaning kit, and something in the corner. Something big. Leo stepped closer. His eyes went wide. The thing in the eye corner was huge, taller than a car. It had dark green skin, sharp spikes, and two glowing eyes. It looked like a monster from an alien horror movie, and it smelled like burnt cheese. The robot spoke again. "This is Drulak. It belongs to Zyra, a warrior of high status. Do not touch it." Then the robot floated away. Leo stared at the creature. It stared back. "Well, hello there," Leo said slowly. "You smell like old socks." The creature let out a deep growl. Leo stepped back, grabbed the cleaning kit, and looked at the bottles inside. Soap, sponge, deodorizing spray. "I can't live with this smell," he muttered. "Just a little clean. Won't hurt, right?" He dipped the sponge in warm water, added some soap, and took a deep breath. "I'm doing this for both of us," he said. He gently touched the sponge to Drulak's back. For a second, nothing happened. Then, a low purring sound. Leo blinked. "Wait, you like this?" He scrubbed a little more. Drulak closed its eyes, almost smiling, and if giant monsters could smile. Soon the room was full of foam and bubbles. Leo was covered in suds. Drulak looked like a giant bubble monster now. Leo laughed. "See? Not so scary now, are you?" Hiss! The door opened. A tall alien girl walked in. Her skin was light purple. Her eyes glowed bright blue. She wore armor made of silver and gold. Her face was calm for a second. Then she saw her pet. Soaked. Covered in soap. Blowing bubbles from its nose. Her eyes went wide. Her voice turned sharp. "What have you done?" Leo froze, holding the sponge like a weapon. Bath time." The girl, Zyra, walked forward slowly, like a panther ready to pounce. "That beast is not a pet," she growled. "It is a krellhound, born for battle. It has never been touched by a human. You have insulted its honor. And mine." Leo backed up until he hit the wall. "I didn't mean to. It smelled bad. I was just trying to help." Zyra looked at Drulak. The giant beast sat calmly, blowing bubbles. She turned back to Leo. Her eyes were glowing now, glowing with pure rage. "You will pay for this, Earth Boy," she said. "I challenge you to combat." Leo blinked. "Wait. What? Like a fight?" Zyra raised her hand. "At dawn you face me. If you survive, you may live. If not..." Before she could finish, a loud alarm rang through the ship. "Intruder alert! All crew report to stations." The walls turned red. Emergency lights flashed. Zyra cursed in her alien language and looked at Leo. "This is not over," she said. "But first, we deal with them." She grabbed a glowing spear from the wall and ran out. Leo looked at Drulak, who licked his face with a long, soapy tongue. "Well," Leo said, sighing, "this is the weirdest Tuesday I've ever had." "You bathed what?" The ship shook as red lights flashed across the walls. Sirens howled through the halls like angry ghosts. Leo stumbled as the floor shifted. Drulak, still covered in soap, let out a deep growl and stomped toward the door, bubbles trailing behind it. Leo shouted. Wait, you're tracking soap all over the floor. No one listened, least of all the giant war beast. He rushed after it. He had no weapon, no training, and absolutely no clue what was going on. Just outside, the hall was full of chaos. Aliens in armor were rushing past with strange glowing weapons. One officer stopped and barked at him. You, human, get to the safe zone. Leo looked confused. There's a safe zone? Where was that during the pet bath emergency? Before he could move, Zira appeared again, tall, furious, and very sparkly under the red lights. Her armor shimmered like moonlight. She grabbed Leo by the front of his shirt and yanked him close. You stay behind me, she growled. You're my enemy, but not theirs. You're not dying until I'm the one who kills you. Leo blinked. Well, I feel super safe now, thanks. She ignored him and moved forward, her spear glowing. Drulik walked beside her like a loyal hound, a very deadly hound that still smelled faintly of strawberry shampoo. They turned a corner and stopped. 3 alien intruders stood there, tall, thin, armored in black. Their eyes were pitch black. No pupils, no soul. One of them spoke in a strange language. Then, in English, "Give us the human." Zyra's grip on the spear tightened. "Over my dead body." Leo raised his hand, slightly. "Hey, can we maybe talk about this first?" the intruder hissed. He pulled out a weapon, sharp, long, and humming with energy. Zyra didn't wait. She moved like lightning. Her spear met the blade with a clash of sparks. The hallway exploded into chaos. Drulak lunged, knocking one attacker into the wall. The creature hit hard and didn't get back up. Leo ducked behind a supply crate, peeking out just in time to see Zyra fighting like a storm. She spun, struck, dodged, and moved with perfect grace. She was beautiful, and absolutely terrifying. In 30 seconds, it was over. The last attacker lay groaning on the floor. Zyra placed her foot on his chest. "Who sent you?" she asked. He laughed, even as blood trickled from his mouth. "The council fears what? The human will become. You bonded the beast to him. Now it obeys him too. He must die." Zyra's eyes widened. She turned to look at Leo, who was awkwardly holding a mop like a sword. "This idiot," she whispered. Drulak walked over and nuzzled Leo's arm. The beast purred. Leo gave a weak smile. "I think we're bonding." Zyra pointed her spear at him. "You soul bonded with my beast." Leo scratched his head. "Okay, but what does that actually mean?" She looked like she wanted to scream, or explode, maybe both. "It means Drulak sees you as its equal, as family, as master. That bond is permanent. Not even I can break it." Leo laughed nervously. "Well, maybe he just liked the bath?" Zyra stepped closer. Her face was full of rage, but behind her glowing eyes, something else. "Fear? This is not a joke," she said. "You have broken a sacred rule. No human has ever bonded with a Krellhound." Okay, Leo said. "So what happens now?" She didn't answer, because at that moment a booming voice came over the ship's speakers. "All crew, report to the tribunal, immediately." Zyra's face went pale. She looked at Leo. "They know," she said. "The council knows." Leo looked at her, completely lost. "Knows what? That I'm great with shampoo?" Zyra turned away and walked fast. "Come," she said. "You're going on trial for bonding with a beast, for breaking the laws of our galaxy." Leo sighed and followed her. Drulak walked beside him like a giant puppy. "So, if I win this trial, I get to live?" he asked. Zyra glanced back. "If you lose, they'll eject you into space." Leo blinked. "Okay, not a fan of that option." She said nothing more. They walked together, toward the tribunal, toward judgment. And Leo couldn't help but feel something big was coming, something far more dangerous than angry aliens or shampoo-covered pets. The Monster and the Idiot. Leo stood inside a giant hall filled with strange creatures. All eyes were on him. Above him floated the Galactic Tribunal, 5 powerful aliens with glowing robes, no mouths, and eyes that seemed to read your soul. Zira stood beside him, arms crossed, face stone cold. Drulak sat at Leo's feet like a loyal dragon dog, still slightly damp from the earlier bubble adventure. A deep robotic voice echoed through the hall. Human, you have broken Galactic Law 47X. You have soul-bonded with a Krellhound. How, do you plead? Leo raised his hand slowly. I plead shampoo. The entire hall gasped. Zira face-palmed. The tribunal leader's eyes glowed brighter. Explain. Leo took a breath. Okay, look. I woke up on a spaceship. No idea how. You gave me a room. In the room was a monster that smelled like a burned sandwich. I washed it. That's it. I didn't mean to bond with anything. Another, alien counselor spoke. This one had tentacles for a face. Intent does not change the outcome. The bond is formed. The creature obeys you. To prove it, Drulak stood up and gently licked Leo's hand. Everyone gasped again. Even Zira looked surprised. The tribunal leader said, "There is only one way forward. The trial of proving." Leo's face dropped. That doesn't sound like a massage. Zira turned to him. It's a test. You will enter the arena of truth. You must show you are worthy of the bond, or you will be unbonded. Unbonded, Leo repeated. That doesn't sound terrible, she narrowed her eyes. Unbonded means they will remove the bond by force. And that usually means removing your head. Leo gulped. Okay. Very terrible. Got it. The arena of truth. The arena was massive, a perfect circle with steel walls, sand floors, and weapons hanging on racks. Lights above buzzed. The crowd above was filled with warriors, elders, and aliens of every shape and size. Leo stood at one end, holding a wooden practice sword. Zira watched from the observation deck, arms folded tight. Even she didn't know what to expect. From the opposite gate, a massive alien entered. Its skin was thick like armor. 4 arms, blades in each hand. The crowd cheered. Leo's stomach made a sound like a dying cat. This is a mistake, he whispered. I'm not a fighter. Drulak stood beside him, growling low. The gate slammed shut behind them. A voice echoed, Begin the trial. The warrior charged. Leo screamed, tripped over his own foot, and rolled straight into a pile of cleaning buckets someone left on the edge of the arena. Soapy water splashed across the sand. Drulak snarled and launched forward, blocking the warrior with a bone-cracking tackle. The two clashed in a blur of claws and steel. Leo crawled backwards and accidentally grabbed a bottle of extra-strength alien shampoo. He looked at it. He looked at the giant warrior. Worth a shot. He threw the bottle. It hit the warrior in the face and exploded. Suddenly, the huge alien was blind, covered in thick green foam, and screaming, My eyes! Why does it smell like lemons? Drulak took the opportunity to pin him to the ground. The arena went silent. Then, wild applause. Leo stood slowly, holding his wooden sword like a hero. Foam dripped from the sky. Zira stared in disbelief. The tribunal announced, The human is worthy. Scene shift. After the trial, Zira and Leo walked together down a quiet hallway. Drulak followed behind like a happy tank. You won, Zira said. Barely. Leo shrugged. Some people fight with swords. I fight with shampoo. She glanced at him. The tribunal believes you now, but others won't. You made enemies today. Leo stopped walking. Wait. Enemies? She looked at him seriously. There are some who think humans don't belong in the galaxy. You just proved them wrong. That makes you dangerous. As they turned a corner, a small drone zipped past. Too fast. Too low. It was scanning. Zira grabbed Leo and shoved him back. Boom! The hallway exploded behind them. An ambush. Out of the smoke stepped a masked alien in dark armor. He raised a long weapon and pointed it straight at Leo. "I told them humans are weak," he hissed. "Time to prove it." Drulak roared and jumped in front. The figure fired. Zira pulled Leo behind a pillar. "We're under attack," she growled. "Not by strangers, these are our own people." Leo stared at her. "Wait, your people are trying to kill me now?" She looked at him with serious eyes. "No, Leo. They're trying to kill us." Trial by fire and soap. Smoke filled the corridor as alarms screamed through the ship. The attack wasn't just a warning. It was war. And it had started from inside. Leo coughed, waving smoke away from his face. "This doesn't seem like a normal roommate argument anymore." Zira didn't smile. She was crouched beside him, gripping her plasma spear tight. "They're purists," she said. "A secret group in the Galactic Guard. They believe only pure blood species belong in the galaxy. They hate humans." Leo blinked. "So, intergalactic racists?" Zira nodded. "And they just declared open war." A second explosion rocked the hallway. Zira looked around. "We can't stay here, they'll hunt us, we need to disappear." Leo pointed to Drulak, who was trying to fit his massive spiky head through a tiny air vent. "Yeah, real subtle team we've got. Scene shift. Engineering bay. Level 9. They ran through a narrow maintenance tunnel, shadows flickering on the walls. Every few minutes, Zira stopped to listen. Leo, meanwhile, kept muttering things like, "Why me?" and "I was supposed to be eating cereal on Earth right now." At last they reached the engineering bay, a huge room filled with pipes, blinking control panels, and humming energy cores. But they weren't alone. A dozen guards waited inside, not regular ones. These wore black armor with red stripes. Purists. At their front stood Commander Creel, Zira's former mentor. "You were always too soft, Zira," Creel said coldly. "Now you defend that thing?" He pointed at Leo like he was a used tissue. Leo gave a small wave. "Hi, I come in peace and also shampoo," Commander Creel sneered. "That creature bonded with your beast. He is an abomination. Give him to us and we'll let you walk away." Zira didn't move. "I walk with my honor, and my beast, and my idiot." Leo whispered, "Hey." "I heard that." Creel raised his arm. "So be it." The purist soldiers rushed forward. The battle begins. It was chaos. Zira moved like a storm, her spear spinning, slicing, crackling with energy. Leo ducked behind a crate, nearly knocked out by a flying helmet. Drulak turned into a green battering ram, tossing enemies like rag dolls. Leo spotted something, a huge barrel labeled plasma degreaser. Caution, slippery. He looked at it, then looked at the floor, then he grinned. "Oh, I'm gonna regret this." He yanked the release valve. A wave of slippery blue soap flooded the floor. The purists slipped, fell, skidded. One even launched straight into an air duct, screaming. Zira stared at the mess. "You weaponized industrial soap?" Leo shrugged. "The floor is lava and I brought the soap." Drulak roared in approval. Creel was furious. He activated a plasma blade and charged at Leo. Zira tried to intercept him but slipped on the soap. She hit the ground hard. Creel raised his blade over Leo. Leo, panicking, grabbed the nearest thing, a mop. Creel laughed. "You fight me? With a stick?" Leo pointed the mop handle at him. Correction. A very clean stick. Then he hit a button on the mop's handle. The mop head detached, flying straight into Creel's face. It hit so hard, Creel stumbled back. Right, into Drulak's open mouth. The beast didn't eat him, but it did toss him across the room into a pile of broken crates. Scene shift. Hidden docking bay later. Zira, Leo, and Drulak escaped through an old docking tunnel, one that hadn't been used in years. Behind them, the ship was in full lockdown. The purists had lost the battle, but not the war. They reached an old ship hidden behind crates, dusty, dented, but fast. Zira powered it up. Leo sat down in the co-pilot seat. He was still shaking. "I didn't sign up for this," he said quietly. "I was just supposed to clean stuff." Zira looked at him. For the first time, she smiled, just a little. "You are more than a cleaner now, Leo," he snorted. "Thanks. Real heroic title." She looked ahead. "You bonded with a battle. Beast, you fought with a mop. You turned a cleaning product into a weapon." Drulik purred loudly in agreement. Zira continued, "Whether you like it or not, you're part of this now. There's a war coming." Leo sighed. "So we're fugitives, outlaws, wanted across the galaxy." "Yes." "Do I still get lunch?" Zira blinked. "What is lunch?" He shook his head. "Oh, we've got so much to teach you." The ship engines roared. Stars blurred as they blasted off into deep space, not knowing who would come after them next or what planet they'd land on. But one thing was sure, Leo wasn't just the roommate anymore. The Battle of Bubbles. Space stretched endlessly around them, quiet and cold. But inside the old ship, things were far from peaceful. Zira was pacing. Her purple skin shimmered under the flickering lights. Drulak lay curled in the corner like a sleeping dragon, except dragons don't usually snore and occasionally fart out tiny fireballs. Leo, meanwhile, was sitting in the pilot chair, chewing on a protein bar that tasted suspiciously like cardboard dipped in sadness. "So," he asked, "any idea where we're going?" Zira answered without looking at him. "Yes, the neutral zone. A free planet called Scrappa. No laws, no leaders, no purists." Leo blinked. "Sounds friendly." Zira gave him a look. "It's not, but it's where rebels hide. We'll find someone who can help us fight back." Leo sighed. "Great. Just once, I'd like to go somewhere with a beach and a buffet." Scrappa, the junk planet, the ship, landed with a loud crunch. Scrappa wasn't just a name, and the planet was literally a junkyard. Giant piles of metal, broken ships, sparks flying, smoke rising. If Earth had a forgotten garage in deep space, this would be it. Zira stepped out, first scanning the area. "Keep your head down. Speak only if necessary." Leo followed her, holding a bag of supplies. "Do I look like a guy who causes trouble?" Just then, a robotic crab tried to steal his boot. He screamed, "Hey, I need those toes!" They entered. A dirty bar made of scrap metal and glowing neon tubes. Inside, strange aliens sat in silence, watching. Music played softly, a sad alien saxophone. A giant insect cleaned a mug with 100 legs. Zira whispered, "We're here for a contact named Morthax. Don't touch anything." Leo looked around. "Define anything." Before she could answer, a figure approached, tall, slim, wearing a long coat and a mask that looked like a melted toaster. "You Zira?" the voice rasped. Zira nodded. "Morthax?" The figure nodded and motioned them to follow. The hidden deal in a hidden back room. Morthax opened a screen showing star maps and attack logs. "You two stirred up the galaxy," he said. "Purists placed a bounty on your heads. Very high." Leo perked up. "How high are we talking? Like a yacht kind of bounty or more like a solid 2-bedroom apartment?" Zira elbowed him. Morthax continued, "There's a rebel group forming. They call themselves the Undone. They want to fight the Purists, and they want you to lead a strike mission." Leo blinked. "Me? Why? I'm just a human, with limited muscle and mild lactose issues." Morthax smirked. "Because the galaxy saw you fight. That arena footage? You embarrassed a Krell warrior. With soap. People are calling it the bubble battle." Leo's mouth fell open. "Wait, I'm a meme?" Zira's face darkened. "This isn't a joke. If we lead this mission, there's no turning back." Leo thought for a moment, then stood tall. "Let's do it." Zira gave him a nod, the closest thing to respect she'd shown him. The assault begins. The plan was simple, in theory. The rebels would attack a purist weapons ship, the Valor Fang, and steal its power core. Without that, the purists couldn't launch their new warship. Leo was assigned to lead a distraction, time, which mostly meant get in trouble and pray they follow you. As they approached the ship under cover of darkness, Leo turned to his small rebel squad. "Okay, team," he said. "Be brave, be smart, and above all, don't trip on the soap." He hit a button on his belt, all around the outer hallways. A custom formula of alien soap sprayed through hidden vents, slippery, foamy, blinding. The guards panicked. Some slipped, some started sneezing. One started crying because he was allergic to lemon scent. Leo and Drulak stormed in, mops spinning like weapons. Zira, meanwhile, led the real strike to the engine room, slicing through defenses like a lightning storm in armor. The turning point, things were going well. Too well. Just as Leo reached the main hallway, a massive explosion rocked the ship. The purist commander Creel, yes, somehow still alive, appeared from the smoke, his armor upgraded and glowing red. "I should have crushed you the first time," Creel snarled. Leo gulped. "Yeah, you really missed that opportunity." They clashed. Creel swung with power. Leo dodged, barely staying alive. He blocked one blow with his mop handle, which immediately snapped. Leo grabbed his last weapon, a bottle of hyper-concentrated degreaser. He threw it. It shattered against Creel's face, burning into his eyes. Creel screamed. Drulak tackled him one final time, this time into the ship's reactor wall. Boom. The whole ship shuddered. Zira's voice rang over comms. "Leo, core is secured. Time to jump." Leo grabbed Drulak's harness and ran like his life depended on it. Which, to be clear, it very much did. Back on Scrappa, the mission was a success. The rebel base cheered as Zira and Leo returned. Drulak howled proudly. Morthax approached, smiling behind his melted toaster mask. "You're becoming a symbol," he said. "The human who bonded a beast, who fights with soap, who doesn't know when to quit." Leo smiled. "Well, someone's gotta clean up this galaxy." Zira stood beside him. "We made enemies today." Leo looked at her. "Yeah, but we made a team too." They watched as new rebels trained in the background, aliens of every kind working together, preparing for what came next, because war was coming, and this time, Leo was ready. Enemy of my pet. The rebel base on Scrappa buzzed with celebration. They had won their first real fight. The stolen power core sat like a glowing heart in the middle of the main hall. Drinks were raised, songs were sung. Someone even handed Leo a medal made out of scrap metal and chewing gum. "Congratulations," Zira said with a small smile. "You survived another day." Leo raised an alien soda. "Barely, and I think I sprained my everything." Drulak purred next to them, happily chewing a steel pipe like it was a bone. But under all the laughter, something felt off. Leo noticed it first. A group of rebels in the corner were whispering, looking at him, then looking away. Their eyes weren't angry. They were nervous, scared. Zira noticed too. Her warrior senses kicked in. She leaned toward Leo and whispered, "Something's wrong. Stay close." Leo nodded. "Too close, like awkward clingy close, or we're about to die close?" "Second one." Secret message. Later that night, Leo sat alone near the old comms room, sipping from a glowing drink can that tasted like minty lightning. Drulak was curled up beside him, snoring like a chainsaw. Suddenly, a voice buzzed from the nearby console. "Leo, this is for you." The screen flickered. A message played, but not from the rebels. It was from the purists. A figure in a hood spoke in a low voice. "You are not what they think you are. The bond you share with the Krellhound is ancient, older than the galaxy's laws. There were others before you, and each time, the bond ended in destruction." Leo sat up straight. "The beast is not loyal. It is cursed, and when it turns on you, no one will save you." The message ended. Leo stared at the screen. His hands were shaking. Drulak stirred, sensing his fear. "Midnight betrayal boom. A sudden explosion rocked the base. Lights flickered. Screams echoed in the distance. Zira burst into the room, spear ready. "We're under attack from the inside," she pulled Leo up. "Stay close. Don't trust anyone." They ran through the twisting hallways, smoke and alarms around them. Rebels were fighting other rebels, traitors wearing purest colors under stolen gear. Leo yelled, "How did they get in?" Zira growled, "Someone let them in." Suddenly a familiar voice rang out. Morthax, the rebel leader, stood at the main entrance, flanked by purist soldiers. His mask was off now. His face wasn't alien, he was human. Leo froze. "Wait, he's one of us?" Morthax smirked. "I was once. Then I saw the truth. Humanity doesn't belong in this galaxy. You, Leo, are the proof." Zira stepped in front of Leo. "You betrayed us." Morthax's voice turned cold. "I saved us. The beast will turn, just like the old legends say. And when it does, I'll be the one to end it." He raised his weapon. "Goodbye, Leo." The battle of trust. Before he could fire, Drulak leapt. The great beast knocked two soldiers aside and stood between Leo and Morthax, growling louder than a thunderstorm. Morthax fired, but the blast didn't hit Drulak. It hit Leo. He dropped. Zira screamed and lunged at Morthax, her spear glowing brighter than ever. They fought in the main hall, silver against fire, speed against strength. Drulak stood over Leo, confused, howling. And then, Leo opened his eyes. The blast had hit his chest, but the metal he was given, the dumb chewing gum one, had absorbed the shot. Burned, cracked, but alive. He looked up and saw Zira losing ground. Morthax was too strong. He grabbed a fallen staff, ran forward and threw it with all his strength. It hit Morthax in the back of the head. He stumbled. Zira didn't hesitate. She struck. Boom. Morthax collapsed. Silence fell. The aftermath. The traitors were defeated. The base was damaged, but still standing. Zira sat beside Leo as a medic patched up his chest. "You were almost killed," she said, voice low. Leo grinned. "Yeah, but on the bright side, I finally did something heroic on purpose." She looked at him, her usual calm broken. "They were right about one thing." Leo tensed. "About what?" She looked at Drulak, who was lying beside them, breathing deeply. "That bond you have. It's not normal. The beast would die for you. But what if one day it loses control?" Leo nodded slowly. "Then I'll be there. To help. Like, it helped me." Zira studied him, then nodded. "You really are an idiot," she said. Leo smiled. "Thanks. That's basically a compliment now. A new mission." As the sun rose over Scrappa, a new signal came in. Coordinates, hidden codes, and one phrase repeated across the screen. "The first Krellhound was never alone. There are more, and they are awakening." Zira looked at Leo. "Looks like our next mission found us." Leo cracked his neck. "Let me guess. Dangerous planet, deadly creatures, no backup?" She grinned. "And lots of running." He stood up. "Good. I just finished charging my mop." Drulak howled to the sky, and together they stepped onto the ship, heading toward a mystery older than legends, and an enemy that might not be the purists, but the beast inside. Redemption and bubble baths. The sky over Yavaria Prime was clear and golden. The warships that once circled above had disappeared. Peace had returned, barely, but it had. And, in the middle of all this calm stood Zara, proud and serious as ever, watching her pet Gronk stretch out in the sun like a lazy beast. Just a few days ago, everything was different. There was betrayal, a plot to restart the war, and almost the death of someone she never thought she would care about. Ben. The strange, soft-spoken human who had given her ferocious beast a bubble bath. Now Zara stood at the ceremony hall, waiting for the council's final decision. All around her, ambassadors from many worlds were whispering. Some still didn't trust humans, others didn't trust Zara either. But the truth had come out. She and Ben had saved the city from a secret alliance of warmongers. The council leader, a tall being with 4 eyes and a shiny hat, raised one hand. "We thank Zara of Clan Valen," he said, "and the human, Ben. Because of you, war was avoided. Peace is restored." A small cheer broke out. Zara only nodded. She didn't care for praise. But when Ben waved from the crowd like a cheerful space chicken, she couldn't help but smirk. Later, the council offered Zara a position of power, commander of the Peace Corps, a big title, big responsibilities, big headaches. She turned it down. "I have other plans," she said calmly. "Those plans?" They involved a new project, one she and Ben had created together, peace training with pets. Read the sign outside a strange but cozy building. Inside, aliens of all kinds, slimy, furry, metal, and glowing, were sitting on little stools, holding pets in their laps. Ben stood at the front wearing a bright green vest that said Certified Pet Trainer on the back. "All right, everyone," he said cheerfully. "Today's lesson, never wash your alien pet without asking first." The class laughed, except for one very serious purple blob who raised a tentacle. "But what if the creature smells like burnt socks? Then you ask politely," Ben said with a grin. In the back, Zara leaned against the wall, arms crossed. She pretended to look bored, but she was secretly proud. Gronk, now freshly brushed and looking almost elegant, was lying near the door with a baby alien lizard curled up next to him. He growled softly when anyone got too loud, but otherwise, he looked calm. Peaceful. "I still think you're crazy," Zara whispered to Ben after class ended. "And you love it," he replied, grinning like a fool. Zara didn't answer, but she didn't deny it either. Later that evening, Ben returned to their shared training house. He was humming a tune, carrying a bottle of galactic bubble soap, lavender edition. Inside, he found Gronk covered in dust and mud. Again. "Oh no, buddy," Ben said. "Not this time, you're getting cleaned." He filled a large tub with warm water. The bubbles rose high. He added the lavender soap and stirred like he was making soup. "Time for spa day," he said. Gronk looked at the tub, then at Ben, then growled. "Don't give me that," Ben replied, hands on hips. "You loved it last week. You rolled over for belly bubbles." Gronk let out a long sigh that shook the windows. Then, like a king stepping into his royal bath, he entered the tub. Ben was halfway through scrubbing the alien beast when the door opened. Zara stood there. She blinked. Gronk was again covered in bubbles. A rubber duck sat on his back. Ben wore a pink headband to keep soap out of his eyes. Zara stared. "I told you," she said slowly, "not the lavender." Ben froze. "Oh, right, sorry." She stepped forward. For a moment, Ben thought she'd yell, or throw something, or maybe throw him, but instead, she picked up a sponge. "Move over," she said. "You missed a spot." And together, warrior and human scrubbed the mighty beast until he sparkled. Outside, the stars were rising. A soft breeze moved through the alien trees. Inside, laughter echoed. It was the sound of a girl who had lost everything but found something new, and a boy who just wanted to help, and ended up changing the galaxy. And somewhere in that warm, bubbly room, peace began again. One bath at a time,